Oh.
Whoa.
No way.
Hi, I'm Alec, one of the designers here at Hatch Duo. And I don't know if you know this, but Darth Vader's helmet was actually a torture device. It was really crappy, low-grade quality equipment, but it could be better. And my boss Jonathan, who loves Star Wars, has tasked me with redesigning that helmet and imagining it in the scope of what if we had designed it with the highest grade, best quality equipment that there was. So right now I'm just pulling in the basic imagery of like, what does the original helmet look like? What are some other helmets that look premium in this universe? So we're also gonna pull in Kylo Ren because I think he has a high-tech version of what we understand Vader's helmet to be. Having these kind of side by side so that we can compare and contrast. And I have some other like concept art that my boss sent to me because he likes to sketch and like Star Wars, as I mentioned. Obviously we need to look at some stuff that isn't just Star Wars. So apparently Lucas drew like a lot of heavy inspiration from Samurai and Edo period.
Yeah,
Is that correct? Yeah, I think that's what it is. If I'm redesigning this, I want to keep that lineage kind of in here. So looking at some of this kind of traditional armor and then drawing lines between this and what we're building here. Or maybe some like, what does like a cyber samurai look like? Because that's kind of what a Jedi is, no? Like a cyber samurai?
Like a space samurai.
Yeah, space samurai.
What part of the samurai armor or helmet do you think you would want to retain?
I think that kind of shroud in the back, we already kind of see here. So retaining that, because that's the main thing that I can draw a line between. And over here we have a similar thing where it's like the cutout for the mouth and the eyes, which maybe is just standard procedure for a mask, but we don't see that with like Mando and Kylo. Probably keeping those elements would be important. Yeah, like even in some of John's concept art, like we're still seeing the cutouts for the mouth and the eyes. Okay, we're in the right spot. We found the niche that we need to be in. Because this is cool. Like this stuff's cool. I think we almost have a board put together. So right now I've pulled in some of my inspiration to Vizcom so that I can just start feeding it these images and telling it what I want from it. So I'm gonna get a bunch of broad exploration by telling it to create a 3x3 grid of iterations of what Darth Vader's helmet may look like if it was modern. Just using that, I can get a bunch of different options. And instead of having to like crank out image by image, I can tell it to do that 3x3 grid. And then per generation, I'm actually getting 9. So instead of 4 generations, I'm getting what, like 36 or something. And then from there, I can kind of like curate and select which one of these I'll want. But this is what I'm using right now. It'll derive its generations based off of these images. And then if I want to, I can also pull in like some of these and then I can say, use form inspiration from @2. So if I try to do that, it's now gonna draw from these images as well. Oh, here's one. It's got a bunch of like Nordic symbology on here, which is not, I wonder where it grabbed that from. It could be like this kind of techie writing here, or it could be this. That's way too bike helmet-esque. I'm gonna say Sith Lord. So what would it look like if a Sith Lord had a modern and high-end helmet? Black and red colors, please. Yeah, I always say please. That's just what I was told to do, so I do it. So this is like Ant-Man and Wasp, and this is a Stormtrooper. I mean, it's the same form, and draw inspiration from the form and design of @2, which is gonna refer to this image here. So we'll have a bunch here. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. You have that elevated, kind of sleek automotive feel. Okay, so this is what we're looking for, but they're still feeling very like not main character. Okay. These are way cooler though. Like these could be interesting. I think it's still very concept-y. I think this is a good example of like some of the key elements that it's keeping here. Like you've got that kind of flare out here, and then the separated mouthpiece is pretty crucial because whether you see it or not, or whether it's in his backstory or not, like you hear that. So that breathing kind of aspect has to be represented visually, not just audibly. Hey, John, I'm ready for review. So I don't know if you picked up on what I was talking about. These ones over here feels a little bit RoboCop, but what I'm liking is the premium feel of the Mandalorian kind of like cutouts. I think these were looking better. This has all the key elements of like that flared out back, this mouthpiece, and then having like the right color scheme. What would you like to see or recommend I move forward with?
There's something about, look how it's when the nose bridge separates the two parts of the eye.
Yeah.
I feel like that feels more Vader. Like
Yeah.
this is actually really cool.
As opposed to like this, where they're like blended. That doesn't feel...
I think the blended looks more Kylo Ren to me. I heard a little bit of your review, like main character versus side character. There's something about the eyes that gives character, and when it's just a straight line, it can be over genericized.
Right.
Even if you were to like shrink that down to make it thin to get a little bit of that essence of a line, but it's that nose bridge. But man, just this is actually like really good. Like these elements. This is a little, like clean up the helmet a little bit, so
it's not as busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what if you took this and cleaned it up?
This could be interesting, like this kind of grill feel. Okay. Yeah, I think I've got a good direction to go in.
Eyes are still a little too similar to the original.
Yeah.
The cheeks are still a little, but this, I don't know, something about how clean that looks.
Yeah.
I like that. So I think that's what we're looking for, is like, you want Vader to feel like he's got the highest tech at that time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Great. Thank you. It looks like we're going forward with this direction, then iterating on this, which we'll do in a little bit. But right now, we're gonna go get lunch and wrap up. Okay, so we've got some feedback and I've been working on this. I was iterating on kind of the eye shape because I know we wanted to change that. And I wanted to get rid of this, make the eyes more narrow, and then add kind of a breathing vent. So started off with the mouth part here, and then we've got some more iteration. We've narrowed down the eyes. We're also simplifying this. We've gotten rid of the red accents. And at the end of my exploration, I ended here, and I checked with John. We both like this direction. So with this, we're gonna have it create a 3D model, and then we're gonna throw it on the printer. The model has been generated, so it looks pretty good. I just wanna show you guys what it looks like. It is hollow, actually. So on the inside, in theory, when we put this together, we're gonna be able to try and put it on. We'll see. But right now, this is looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it picked up on all the important details. Like the curvature looks good. I didn't even give it like multiple views. I know Vizcom has a feature where you can give it multiple views, but I just wanted to kind of see what it would give me with the one view. Turned out really good. So now that we have this, we're just gonna export this as an STL and throw it into our slicer and probably cut it up, scale it up, and see what we can do as far as printing goes. I've got the print in the bamboo slicer and I've scaled it up just so that you can see it. It looks good, and the scale that I need it to be is gonna be too big than the build platform, and to actually paint this thing and put it on, we're gonna want to print it in parts. Right now I have all these parts kind of cut and segmented of this, and we have this little corner piece right here. It's not quite printing yet, but the printer is getting ready. It's priming itself and calibrating. And so you can hear it's getting really loud. But it's just setting up for the print. And hopefully, let's see, how long is this gonna take? So this is like 1/4 of the head part, and this is gonna take at high fidelity, like 3 hours. So it is a 0.12 millimeter layer height. So it is gonna take a while, but that means less sanding and Bondo for me, so I'm willing to do that. Hopefully, because this is an AI model in CAD, it could go wrong, but hopefully it doesn't. That's what I'm looking for here. Well, that didn't quite work. I'm not, this is 3 different failed prints, so I'm not exactly sure what to do next. I've looked up some reasons that this could be happening. I'm sure someone in the comments down below could tell me what's happening here. It looked like the piece was shifting or not adhering well So I adjusted some settings and tried again, and that's where I got this one. Yeah, actually, there's one thing that's good from this I can show you. We can do a little test to see if the scale is correct. Assuming that this is about correct, this other half here kind of goes around. It seems to be the right size, but the printer is going on another run here. Hopefully with the smaller print size, it'll turn out okay. And we won't have a fourth one of these. It's so over. Let me just show you. It's already like not, so this isn't adhering even though we have an 8mm brim. I wiped down the plate with alcohol to make sure it's sticking correctly, but for some reason, whatever this was, something caught maybe. I wonder if it's the nozzle, if I have to cold pull and like make sure that the extrusion is correct, but at least it messed up early so that we can just kind of try again. All right, let's just go back to the computer. One of you guys in the comments can tell me what I'm doing wrong and I'll read it and I'll be like, thanks, which I knew that earlier. For some reason, it like caught here. And honestly, like the actual geometry looks completely fine in my opinion. All right, we've got the new print on here. It's a different piece completely. We're gonna switch to something that is more vertical and not like with a bunch of overhangs essentially, because I think that was a lot of my issue was overhangs. But while this is starting up, we're gonna go check if we have these things in the shop. We're gonna need some stuff when these 3D prints are finished. And that means for us, potentially an Ace Hardware trip or two. I'll let you check this out. We've got Bondo on the list. We've got black spray paint. We've got sandpaper, red LEDs. Don't tell John. I don't think he knows that we're gonna do actual LED lighting, so that's gonna be a surprise for him. And then lastly, semi-translucent plastic for the eyes and the mouth parts. So Bondo, I think we have like this crappy JB Weld stick like this here. Well, here's sandpaper. We've got a decently sized bin of spray paints and aerosols, flat black. The rendering that I have is glossy, and I mean, it is Vader, so it's like, we want gloss, okay. Satin, yeah, we don't have gloss black. What else do we have here? We've got, I already talked about Bondo, yep. Okay, the red LEDs, we don't have those. We're gonna have to order those. Semi-translucent plastic, somewhere, maybe in here. It's a huge sheet. I know we have some. We're gonna have to go back out there to check. Yeah, giant sheet of it. This is too opaque. Like, check this stuff out. Here, I'll cut some for you. Like, this is just too translucent. Like, I think the light would just shine right through that. We're gonna have to get different plastic. Let's check out the print. It looks like something's going on. It's already messing up. We can go over and stop it, but let's just enjoy the fact that this isn't working for the 6th time. I'm not actually that upset about this. It keeps messing up pretty early on, so that's actually not that big of a deal. And part of me thinks now it is like a nozzle issue. I've never had to troubleshoot nozzle issues on a bamboo. It's a bamboo. Can't be that hard in theory. Yeah, let's just get the gunk off the nozzle real quick, because there's some that kind of built up. Yeah, like, I don't know if you can see that. Just a bunch of filament. I have to troubleshoot this, and I'm sure you don't want to watch that. So let's cut to when I hopefully fix this. I troubleshooted the prints. I'm excited to let you guys know that a lot of them came out good. And we have the graveyard over here of the stuff that didn't work. We've got all these crappy pieces, but we have the stuff that did work. I was able to cut it up and, you know, mess with some slice settings to get this stuff to work. But look at this, look, these are correct. And if I were to kind of like put these together, you can see that it would take shape if I put epoxy and Bondo on this, which I will eventually. And there's one other part that, so got this, and it does fit. Like, so far, it is like head shape. Something like this, yeah? Top part of the helmet, starting to look real. We have these are like the shrouds back here. So this will be down here. And you can see that they will attach like so. Yeah, that'll go right there. And then when we print the front face, we'll have this connecting piece right here, and then the mirrored part of it as well. Okay, so it is these big, large 8-hour prints that we have to throw on next. So, and because we can monitor it and stop it on our phone, we should be fine if it starts turning into spaghetti like the other ones. So yeah, we'll just send this over, and then let's see next steps. next steps. We have some materials that we still need to procure. We're gonna do that next. Dude, the 3D prints worked. It finally came out and we're cooking. If you can't see, I'm kind of mocking this up. Dude, just check this. Yeah? Does it look good? I'm super stoked on this. So far, like, the vision is there, and I've never had to print something in so many pieces before. We have it all. There's only one like minor error, which I'll show you. It's on this part over here. If we compare these two, we can kind of, hold up, let me get these oriented correctly. You see like the mouth part? Yeah, the mouth part on this side, it's not correct. So I thought this entire 8-hour print was screwed up because I looked in the print bed and there's all sorts of spaghetti of filament, but it was just this part. So the rest of the print is fine. I can go back in, I can measure this, and I can just tell it to kind of basically cut there, and then I can print just that and adhere it back on. Everything's looking good. This is from Vizcom. Isn't this crazy? A 3D model from Vizcom that actually hollowed out the helmet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a Dremel, I'm gonna run it across here so that this faceplate part is separate. And you can put on this helmet section as the top, and then maybe like magnets or something, or straps, and you can put on the faceplate separately. Real Vader stuff right there. Aside from these prints, we've got other materials. We grabbed classy JB Weld stuff, some Rust-Oleum gloss black spray paint, which is probably gonna haunt me later. We've also got I know these are a different filament, I printed them elsewhere. Individual sheets of sandpaper, 120 grit and 80 grit. All of these nasty little mild layer shifts and awkward topology. We're gonna throw some of this glazed spot putty on, which I also grabbed. If you haven't used this stuff, great for modeling and getting those tiny imperfections out. And I don't have primer. We're gonna have to go get spray primer. So okay, this is gonna be my third trip to Ace, but looks like we've got everything we need, minus the spray primer. And maybe let's cut to a montage of us storing it together. We're on our way to Ace, which is really close, but we have to pick up two main things, different spray paint. We're gonna use a like black metallic and then spray primer. We do have some stuff like JB welded together and epoxied together. So we are gonna be ready, almost entirely ready to just like spray the whole thing. We'll loop around because that guy's blocking our parking spot. It's like parking in California. Parking period. All right, we got this will have to suffice. Metallic finish, automotive spray primer, also Rust-Oleum, very important, stay in the same brand. I'm not sure if this is gonna look the way we want it to, because although this is metallic, it's not like chrome. So we'll see if it works. So I've got part of the helmet put together, and I can take this tape off now because this epoxy has set some 5-minute JB weld. Cosplayers let me know what I should have used because I don't do this kind of stuff, but it's really fun. But right now, we've got some good looking stuff. You guys saw me Dremel the face mask off. So right now it looks like, it looks something like that. And you can tell the left side, there's some print missing. So we need to redo that, which hopefully isn't a big issue, and we can just kind of measure how much of the print we're missing, cut it there, reprint it, glue it on, call it good. Hopefully we'll get to painting soon. I'll probably be in different clothes by the time I start painting. We'll do that on another day. Now if you check that profile right there, it looks like our gaps aren't terrible. Like I can run my finger across and like feel a raised edge here. I can kind of run it across and it feels pretty decent. Like we've got a little bit of an irregularity here. And then same over here, like you've got all sorts of crap on the inside, but on the outside, looking pretty good. So I think this is gonna go well. And I will get back to you guys once we've, got it mostly assembled and we put primer on it. So I've gotten pretty far with this, and I put just one coat of paint on it to check how it's gonna look, and it looks pretty cool. I like it. I wanna mention one thing though. Like, look on the inside here. Do you see all this, like by my thumb? That's a bunch of like random layer line shifts and stuff. And I tried to make the layer lines really short so that I didn't have to add a bunch of primer and sand. But shifts like that and like having to meet these two things up at the chin, it's difficult. So this is taking me some time, but I think honestly, the result is gonna be really cool. And with a lot more of this filler putty and sandable fill primer, like I think it's gonna look really cool. Like, look at all this cracking. I don't know what is, maybe I need to put primer under it. I just smeared off a bunch of paint. I wonder if the filler putty actually reacts with the paint in a specific way. Yeah, I'm peeling it off right now. But I do think it's how the putty's actually reacting with the paint, I think is causing it to like crack, like these little tiny microfractures in here. So I might just leave this as far as putty goes and then do some fill primer to like give it the base coat of the primer in case it's reacting with the paint. So I'm gonna switch back and do some fill primer. We're on our third can of this, by the way. Like, look. This one's like totally toast. This one, not fully toast, but like was puttering out at some point, so I just switched cans. So I'm using this one right now, so. So you can see there's definitely some undulations in the surface that aren't ideal. Thankfully, the paint that we're using covers up a good amount of it, but there's stuff that like isn't acceptable. There's stuff that I definitely need to sand down. I'll show you a couple of them. We've got here, like all this. Oops, I just put my fingers on the primer. We've got this, like little things like this that the red putty will be good for. Cracks, now my fingerprints, like this little divot in here. So I think we'll be fine. Once this dries, we'll put red putty on it and that'll actually clean up most of this. So to be realistic, maybe 2 more coats of primer and then hopefully a coat of paint. A lot of it is gonna be sanding and getting these meticulous details to look correct. So I'll give myself until the end of the day to kind of like get this pretty good. All right, we've got some really good progress and we're 95% of the way there. This is the helmet right now. The paint is still drying, so I have it kind of like hung right here. Then the face mask, looking pretty good. I'll show you it right now. There's absolutely still imperfections, but who's to say that the person that were to make the Darth Vader mask didn't, you know, make mistakes. So check that. F***ing sick. I'm happy with this. There's a couple of things that I'd like to change. Things that we are gonna add are like a mesh behind the eyes, and then we have some acrylic over there that we're gonna cut out maybe with the laser cutter or just with a coping saw by hand, if that's easier. We'll try and fit them into these little slots here so that when we have the LEDs, which we'll kind of jump over for now, it'll look really, really cool. Let's just look at the heads a little bit. Kind of difficult to pick this up right now since there's stuff on the inside that's drying too. Check that. There's definitely some issues on it. Like you can see the reflected surfaces are awkward in some places, but generally from a distance, if you saw me walking down Comic-Con or something, you'd be like, hey, that's like Vader plus Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Pretty happy with that. Tomorrow, we're gonna see how this looks all together. So this is looking pretty cool. I just put the LEDs in and I wanna show you this. I think it's pretty awesome. This is the first ones I tried. See if you can see the change of color when I turn them on. You see them flashing? Probably not. Honestly, like these were just so bad. These were so lame, but oh yeah, look at that. That is gonna look super cool. The other things that we're gonna touch up are doing mesh for the eyes. We're doing like plastic cutouts for the mouthpiece. And then, do you remember the other thing? Magnets.
Oh,
yeah, to make sure that the faceplate smacks onto this really well. The thing that's gonna be hard is cutting out the plastic for the mouthpiece. I know earlier or last night I said I would cut it out with like a coping saw, but we have a bandsaw right here and we're on a time crunch. So yeah, and then the eyes, I have the mesh, which I'll go and grab right now. The mesh that we have is this little like a bathroom like tote bag. We're gonna cut this up, maybe double layer it because right now like a single layer of it feels like, I don't know, can you see my eye really well? Is it really easy to see my eye? Yeah, I don't know. We might have to like layer it up, maybe 4-ply. I don't know, because I can see through that, but you can't see me as well. Yeah? Okay, we're gonna cut this up and we'll come back when we get some results. It's looking good. Like I've got the mesh on the eye, kind of a hack job a little bit, but like it looks good from here. When you look on the inside, you're like, really? You stapled it together? That's beside the fact. I think it looks cool. Hopefully that kind of looks correct. Smells like super glue in there. I'm going to real quick just look at how this looks with the LEDs on. I don't know, does the red light even glow? Can you even see the red light?
Not really.
No? The LEDs, bit of a disaster. They have to be like right next to the mouthpiece. And the individual diodes are actually like, look at this tape up. Let's see how it looks, just real quick. See, it's all spotty. I layered the diodes so that they're like, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead, kick that light off over there. Okay, yeah. So like depending on the distance, which is pretty crucial as far as like light diffusion, we're either getting like diodes going through like that looks so cool when it moves. Look at that, like I'm Darth Vader, I'm talking. But we're not gonna put a moving LEDs in here. Like I think this is good, but right now the main issue is like the LEDs don't stand up on their own. So we're just gonna tape this real quick and see what we get. So we have John here and we have the current progress on the helmet. So we're gonna get a reaction. I know that I said the LEDs were gonna be a surprise, but John figured out about the LEDs. We'll just kind of have the light up be a surprise. I know you have more experience making physical models. That's just the nature of studying when you did. Feel free to critique because I know there's imperfections.
Yeah. I can appreciate how much hard work you've been putting into this. I've been seeing you in the shop like all day long. There's definitely some, some imperfections here and there.
Yeah.
Some dents and stuff, but
yeah.
Hey, the nature of Star Wars is that it's not polished like Star Trek, right? It's like battle worn, so I think it's okay. The black metallic's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like the finish on this.
Yeah.
I think it hides some of these awkward marks from afar.
I mean, it looks like a Black Series helmet. This is pretty cool. Like, what about this?
I'd be a little precarious about this. So let me go ahead and put the main helmet on.
Oh, he's putting it on.
Yeah, we'll mock it up. One sec. Technical difficulty. Plug. Replug?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little eccentric right now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a little awkward in here. It's a little cramped. I think the main things I need to adjust are, like, we need padding in here so it doesn't sit so far back on the head. Like, this should snap fit.
Yeah.
Like with magnets or something. Yeah. Like the inside is just a mess.
Yeah.
Like a total mess.
Do you know how you're going to do that?
No. I have no idea. In theory, I can route this maybe to the back here and yeah.
Do you have magnets already?
Yeah, we have magnets. Okay. I was thinking putting them here because when you have this off, like these two parts kind of match up a little bit on the inside. Yeah, progress so far. What do you think?
It looks awesome. And then even if like, final, if you can't put it on, but like we at least have it assembled, it'll still look good.
Right.
So
cool.
Yeah.
And do whatever color you want too. Don't have to be like evil Vader. You can be
purple Vader.
You can be purple Vader, exactly.
Little dark and light side.
All right, so we've got some feedback and we know where to go with this. Magnets and rerouting the weight are the main thing. And once we get that done, we'll get a reaction from the whole team.
Awesome. Love the progress.
I can feel the tolerancing and I know it's not gonna work. Ugh. The tolerancing isn't gonna work. I can just tell. Because the issues I was having with the magnets is that this surface and the surface on the inside aren't like parallel with each other. So they don't actually line up flush enough to get good contact. And so I added padding, which in retrospect, that padding is creating a poor fit. We've got the final coat of paint on here and it's looking really good. I'm 95% satisfied with this and there's always room for improvement, but let's transition and look at those beauty shots.
Yeah. Oh snap. That's good.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, it came out really well. Good job, Alec.
Thanks.
The design definitely looks like Vader, but then when you look up close, especially the facial lines, it feels so awkward, like touching his face. Angular. It looks a bit more streamlined, I would say, than the original Vader, which was kind of the objective, right? We're trying to go for something like if Palpatine didn't give him the old, outdated suit, what might it look like? So I still think it has the intimidation factor and still has the same first read as Vader. Good job doing that. Did you laser cut those or what did you?
These are like bandsaw. Hand cut these on the bandsaw, sanded them down, pushed them in.
Yeah.
A little bit of
I
super
would have
glue.
laser cut them, but I know he was under the gun.
It can be touched up tomorrow and we'll do that. But right now we can show that it's fully functional. It looks cool. The lights are shining bright. The eye mesh works really well. It fits at the right level. It's, I wouldn't say comfortable, but it's not pinching or uncomfortable anymore. We fixed that. Overall, like I could see myself wearing this to a Comic-Con for maybe 2 hours, having a lunch and putting it back on for another 2 and taking some photos with people. Yeah, if we get a sci-fi client or something, reach out to anybody in the sci-fi space. We do stuff like this. Like it's a passion of ours and we're super thrilled to make stuff like this as projects and as work.
Yeah, no, this was super fun. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these in the future. So if you guys have stuff that you want us to make, or you want Alec to make, then please leave some comments and send us a message and we'll try to make it happen. You should do this. You should do the force.
I can see you too, like the eyes are mesh.
Was this printed?
Yeah, this is a Vizcom 3D model that I printed.
Damn.
It fits on your head, it's wild. Wait, can you get it off or is it stuck forever?
The good thing is the camera's kind of bad, so you can't see all the crappy paint right here that's drying, and so. But
Like the front's removable, so you can like eat your Halloween candy.
yes, exactly. It pinches my ears a little bit, but regardless, like it actually fits like well on a head.
Wow, that's cool, man. All meetings, on Google Meets, just wear that.
The only reason John's not gonna wear it is he's too faithful to the original legend.
No, I have my own mask I'll wear that day. Okay.
When I was testing where the LEDs should go, like you can move them around in here, and it like depending on where the diode was, it looked like a talk box, and it was like moving up and down, like audio levels or something. It was really cool. It's done, kind of. I want to add a new layer of paint. There's blemishes, there's all sorts of things that I want to adjust, but it fits, the lights are correct, the battery's taped in, we've got mesh for the eyes. It looks great. Like I said, I would wear this at a Comic-Con and I think people would love it. Overall, an amazing project, and I'm excited to do more of these. It's going to be really fun to continue this series. And yeah, so let us know if you like this down in the comments, and go ahead, hit a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.